Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Some call her the Lady in Black. Others might say she's the track too hard to tame. But we know her as Darlington. And that's where we're going tonight for round 8 of the Australian NASCAR eSeries. So we've just finished qualifying. They're lining up on the grid. It's going to be a short formation lap and then it'll be into the race. Our co-host for the night is a new voice in the booth. So Dylan McDonald from Indiana in America.
Hey, how's it going there, buddy?
Doing well. So you've got a moment to introduce yourself to all our viewers on YouTube tonight. Unfortunately, no Facebook, so it's all on YouTube.
Yeah, so Dylan here from the Americas here in Indiana. Currently, just kind of getting my groove in. New league, new set of faces, new broadcasting team as well. Can't wait to see what these racers out here at Darlington have to do with the Darlington Motor Speedway here tonight.
So we'll just pull up the grid now. The cars are just rolling off on their formation lap. So pole position, Jordan Jurassic, out of America too, but living in South Korea, I believe. Then we got Ryan Jones, Jason Martin, Dane Snadden, Josh Mickelmore, Jacob O'Reilly, Andy Barber, Jason Holdsworth, Shane Bowen and Dave Douglas rounding out the top 10.
Starting in P number 11 is going to be Riley Curtis. In P number 12 is going to be Ryan Barber. 13th, Brandon Burkhart. 14th is going to be Stephen Williams. 15th will be Trent Gossley. 16th is going to be Ant Cuthbertson. 17th, Sam Smith. 18th is going to be Daniel Boyd. 19th is going to be Robert Dunt. And rounding out your top 20 is going to be Aaron Gilbert.
Then we have Nigel Seidel out of 21st. Henry King, Teo Sereno, Lewis Greathead.
25th is going to be Matt Danson. 26th will be Brad Newman. 27th is going to be Ethan Winter. 28th, Tyler Williams. 29th, Brian Blundwell. And 30th is going to be Shane Newens.
As we drop the green flag right there. Good jump by Jordan Jurassic. Pulls up to the outside line. Gets that high side. A bit tight for second and third there. They sorted out with the 11. Just getting it over the 21 in there.
Yeah, definitely going to be something to watch for, especially going through turns number 1 and 2. Obviously, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, you kind of can run double file, as 1 and 2 is a little bit more wider than 3 and 4, but 3 and 4, it's kind of like an X shape. You want to be sort of single file going through that tight little hairpin kind of section through this Darlington Motor Speedway. You're going to see him go down towards the apron.
The triple two just hit the wall a little bit. I'll be very disappointed if all these cars don't have damage on the right-hand side by the end of this race.
Yeah, definitely got to watch how much damage you do occur throughout this race here at Darlington. Obviously, Darlington Stripe is going to be made famous here tonight in the Xfinity cars as we come around to complete lap number 2 or 3.
So we've still got Jordan Jurassic out front, but he hasn't got away too far. You can just see Ryan Jones just right in his mirror there. Got a little bit of a run off turn 1 and 2 there, and thinks better of it diving into 3 and 4. He's just going to stick right on his bumper there. Hopefully get a little bit of drive off the corner. Bit of side draft to pull him back. But Jordan's just got that good exit. Ryan's just got nowhere to go just yet.
Yeah, with Darlington being the way that it is, it's going to be better to eye up the run. You want to get a good run coming out of the corner, so that way you can get clear of the driver going back into turns number 3 and 4, or even opposite 1 and 2. You definitely don't want to be side by side going into 1 with the car down on the inside going down across the apron.
You can just see Jason Holdsworth making a move on Strange. Shane Bowen there, having a look at Dane Snadden in front of him. But Jason's moved up 1 spot. No huge movers just yet. Until I look down to about 18th place, where we see Ethan Winter made up 9 positions. Few cars have fallen behind a little bit. So I think a few cars just elected to drop out of the line and go towards the back. Get a bit of experience in. And here's that run that Ryan Jones was looking for. Bit of side draw. Really pins Jordan Juratic up high. Jordan gets that run. Just that outside line just opens up the corner a little bit. Doesn't have to put as much steering in it and keep that momentum rolling around that top line.
And you can see they're coming off of turn number 1 and 2. How much time he really lost, but gains it right all back into turns number 3 and 4. But it's still the number 6 of JD in P number 1.
So these turns have wildly different radiuses. So what you do into 1 and 2, which is a lot tighter bend than 3 and 4, doesn't work from one end of the track to the other.
Yeah, a lot more braking pressure into turns number 3 and 4 than in 1 and 2. You're going to slow roll it through 3 and 4. Bottom line is going to be the quicker way around for the short run. But then towards the end of the long green flag laps, you're going to start seeing drivers go from the bottom all the way up to the top. Kind of riding the wall in both 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So definitely going to see what the 6 can do to get back up to, or stay in P number 1, or if Ryan Jones in the number 11 machine can get the good run around him.
You see that big slide off the corner for the number 6. He goes low to defend, making Ryan Jones go around the outside, run up along the fence. He's cleared him now onto the front straight. So good move there by Ryan Jones.
Yeah, new race leader. Number 11, put him at the front of the field in clean air is going to be the best air, especially here at Darlington. He's going to get right up along that outside wall in turns number 1 and 2. Diamond it back down towards the bottom of the racetrack and get about a car and a half length lead over the number 6 down to turns number 3 and 4.
So you can just see Jason Martin now to have a look at the number 6. So Jordan Jurassic might just be saving a little bit of tyre for later in the run. If we get a long green flag run, it's going to make a huge difference on if you've been too hard on the tyre early. You can see Jordan right up on the fence there, trying to make that momentum. That's where the highest banking is. Aggressive banking. So there's about 2 lanes of, it's steeper banking the further up you get, or below that dotted white line, it's white flat. You can make the move on there, it's part of the racetrack, but you will not get that momentum like you would on the banking.
Oh yeah, if you want to be as spicy can get, right below that white dotted line, the rear end can kind of stick out on you. Be kind of all over the place with your wheel motion, but like my counterpart did say, there is some drive off down there, just not going to have the forward momentum coming off of the corner.
You can see a big stack up there, the 31 of Josh Micklemore, really caught the back of Jason Martin. So Jordan Jurassic might just be the bottleneck at the moment, the cork in the bottle, as they say.
Okay, you
just
see
holding
him there.
everyone up behind.
Yeah, holding up everybody, but still kind of maintaining that pace. And obviously, with it being Darlington, it's going to be a tire shredder of a race. You want to go nice and easy for the first 10 to 20 laps, and then kind of start picking up the pace if you can. Obviously, looking now, Josh McElmore. Try to look down to the inside of the 21 of Jason Martin, but not able to make the pass. He's going to try and eye up another run within the next couple laps.
Pretty hard for him to make moves at the moment. It kind of looks like the one groove racetrack. They're all running along the wall. But as soon as someone makes a mistake coming off 1 and 2, there's a big bump of exit of 2 onto that back straight. If you get it and your car snaps loose, you lose all the momentum and you'll just find the car drives around you like we saw Ryan Jones on JD earlier.
Yeah, going through turns number 1 and 2, last lap, the 6 of JD got up into the outside wall, and the wall just kind of snatches you and doesn't want to let go as he led into the wall and couldn't get off of it, but still maintained P number 2.
You see Dave Douglas there just making the move on Dane Snadden, I believe. So Dave's running a throwback livery to his Daytona 500 win that we did earlier in the year. There's a few throwback liveries in the crowd. Oh, we're hitting the doors there.
And
So Riley's just in behind him. Also in a throwback livery. Who doesn't love a Hot Wheels livery? Done up for the Nitro Racing. As Shane Bowen just sends it down the inside. So you can see all the cars just stacked up behind Jordan Jurassic there. He hasn't let Jones go too far ahead. He's only 0.2 of a second there. But he's got about 6 cars right behind him, all wanting that second spot so they can have a dig at Ryan Jones there.
Yeah, looking at them now, they're kind of playing the patient waiting game here. You see the 21 kind of going a little bit deeper into turn number 3 and 4. He's going to have maybe a little bit more momentum than the number 6 machine, but he's got to eye up the run as calmly as he possibly can. Doesn't want to overdrive his car this early into the race, down in turn number 1 and 2. You can see him kind of hitting the dotted white line down into the corner and drifting all the way back up to the wall.
He's turned him a little bit there. He's managed to hang on to it. He's lost a lot of speed there, Stephen Williams, so he's just going to gather himself back up, try and get back to where he was. Riley Curtis just got into the rear quarter of him as he dipped below the dotted line, like Dylan said. That's just where you go from the transition, from the flat to the banking, and just got the car unsettled, centered up the hill there a little bit, and Stevie Williams has probably got something to say about that.
Yeah, looking back here now, he's finally back up to speed.
So we have Jacob O'Reilly making a move on Josh Micklemore there. In that stack up behind Jordan Jurassic, there's going to be a few moves made in it.
Look at there is Jason Holdsworth getting passed by Dave Douglas. And now Dave getting past Jason Holdsworth. He's just kind of content riding, just wants to save his tires, wants to be there towards the end of this race as they go off into turns number 3 and 4.
So Jason's just having a little peek down the inside, comes up behind, a bit of an earlier break than Jordan Jurassic in front of him in the number 6, the iRacing livery there. Looks very much like the pace car, that one. They both have a big slide off turn 2 there. So we're 20 laps into this tyre stint. So they'll just be starting to feel the effects of probably that right rear just dropping off a little bit, getting a little bit overheated with all these slides. That wall comes in very close.
Yeah, I did a few of these.
Get loose.
Ooh. Big hit by Jason Martin to the outside wall in turn number 1 and 2. And just like we just said, the big slide. It almost feels like as you're going through this race, that wall just gets closer and closer to you as you come out of the corners. But, I mean, it's a wall. It's a stationary object. It's not getting closer. You just get a little bit more wider on your exit. Burning up that right rear as Josh Micklemore able to hold off the 222 of Jacob O'Reilly.
So we just see Jason Martin just having a look up down the inside there on Jordan Jurassic. What he needs to do is just square up that last corner, not slide off it. Just get the power down cleanly and try and pass him down that back straight. Looks like he's got the measure of him through the corner. So if he can get that power down and pass him while they're not turning, he'll have that position made.
Looking at it now, he's right up on the back bumper. He's able.
So you can see Jones has checked away. He's got past the lap car there of, I'm not too sure who it is. It's Matt Danson. As Matt just gives him a little nudge to get around him to get his lap back. That's a bit cheeky.
He says, you know what, I may be a lap down, but that's not going to be the end of the number 30 machine, as he kind of moves the race leader out of his way. He said, all right, I'm going to get the lucky dog the hard way, the Bill Elliott way, as some would say, as he finally gets his way around the number 6, or the number 11.
Jason, can you just see him looking down the inside of the Team Conti car of the 222 of Jacob O'Reilly. So it got a little bit loose off the corner, but I think they both did. You can see him drift right up to the fence there, give the wall a big slap there. He's got that Darlington Stripe on that right rear quarter panel. So Jason's probably going to have a decent run up here. Not close enough to have a proper look down the inside of 3 and 4 just yet. So it's starting to spread out. There's no cork in the bottle anymore, apart from each other.
Yeah, I can see it now. A couple more wall hits by the number 222, and Jason Holdsworth is going to be there to make the pass. He's going to chip it in there just a little bit. Going to get on the binders a little bit harder than he wanted to, but he's still going to be right in that draft wake zone of the 222, but not going to be able to set up the run going into turn number 3 and 4.
The 222 had the big slide off the corner just then, but Jason wasn't there to make the most of it. You can see the 222 just loose mid-corner there, just fighting it all the way off the corner. That car's starting to really heat up that right rear corner. It's not going to get better from here.
Yeah, I think as a racer mindset, you got to play the long game here. I mean, 27 laps out of 140 are complete. How hard do you want to push the car for the beginning rather than the end? Do you want to sacrifice your speed for positions, or do you want to just get all your positions right then and there and then worry about the speed later? And I think Jason's got that part figured out. He just wants to maintain. He wants the tires for later in the run, and that's what you're seeing here. He's staying off the wall. He's staying exactly what he needs to do. He's keeping it relatively a safe distance, as a 31 of Josh Micklemore right in front of him have a big slide in turn number 1 and 2.
So lap traffic's definitely coming into play. You can see the car just in front of the 31 sliding up. He was just a headache to the... Leaves Jacob O'Reilly nowhere to go, just has to follow him.
Josh and Dave Douglas do the same thing. They go down to the inside. They're going to make quick work of that number 73 machine and right back to the racing. Yeah, 222 had a really good run off the exit. He's going to look low on the number 31 side by side through turns 3 and 4, but not going to be able to make the pass as the 31 of Josh Micklemore able to power through and to get that nitro-powered machine back to P number 3.
Very hard racetrack to pass on. A lot of tracks you can dive low and make that move using the shorter track width, but this one just carries so much extra speed around the top.
Okay,
so we're on board here with Jason Holdsworth. You can just see O'Reilly just having another look at Micklemore. Had the slide big mid-corner. He's still sliding up the hill. Big slide. Oh, and Micklemore has a big slide too. Comes out of nowhere for Jason. That was a good effort to not clean him up then. A lot of these tyres are looking very second-hand. They'll be going straight in the bin after this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Is a big slide for the number 10 right behind Jason Holdsworth. Pretty much took the whole backstretch to get that car wound back down, looking like Formula Drift down there. But more than less, still going straight, still green out of this whole front pack.
These guys will be screaming for a caution right now just to try and get that set of tyres off. Might still be a bit early. They've got to break it into 3 or 4 equal parts. So they'll have 4 sets of tyres for this race. The first set they start on, and then 3 sets over the wall. So they'll want to try and break the race into putting 2 sets. You can just see Holdsworth nearly getting to the bumper of O'Reilly there. They won't want to use more than 2 sets for this race, so they have a set for if there's a green and white checker or a late race caution. So I'm thinking somewhere around the lap 50 mark is when you'll start to see the big movers up the front try and pit then.
Oh, absolutely. You're definitely going to see a lot of these drivers do what they need to do, kind of conserve where they can, but others may not be able to, as another really good battle right behind them. The 31 and the 38. 38 was looking low, wasn't able to get there on Josh Micklemore. Now he's going to try to eye up this run once again.
You can see Brad Newman just fire it up the inside of Lewis Greathead. Probably didn't see him coming, just clipped the wall there a little bit. You can see Brad Newman up 13 spots, Lewis Greathead up 10, Aaron Gilbert up 5. So there's a lot of movers now, just moving up that mid-pack.
Yeah, definitely going to see what these drivers back here in the back have anything for the front drivers. While they were all able to save a little bit more tire in the front pack, running a little bit harder as the 73 hard of the outside wall, but able to get on around through the backstretch.
We're on board with Ethan Winter here, up 18 positions from the start of the race. So he's going on the inside. He's going to just put the nose in. The 39 just backs out of it there. The 31, I should say, backed out of it, or 38. Shane Bowen backs out. Jason into the wall there. Loses a couple of spots. Tries to gather it back up to see what damage he's got. Whether he got steering damage. That was a hard hit in the wall. Got Dave Douglas there in front of him.
Yeah,
the wheel doesn't look too bad.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look too bad. The fenders don't look hurt at all. But, you know, just grab a grinder, grab a buffer. Everything will be out of that car in no time.
There will be a lot. You see the big slide there from, I believe, Josh Micklemore. And then someone's sending it up the inside of Micklemore. I believe Shane Bowen is just in his rear view mirror there. So Micklemore is really struggling with that right rear. He's getting very loose off the corner. You can just see how much drive Shane's got here. He'll fire it underneath. Take that low line. Try and get that run off the corner. He's going to give him a little bit of a side draft. Not close enough yet, but if he dives it in, that's quite respectful racing. And then you've got Tyler Williams just punching into this conversation too. But you can see Josh just sliding up. Oh, and then Shane Bowen just has not given him any room. Josh just backs out of it, which is going to give Tyler Williams the run. Sometimes it's just easier. There's a lot of clean air behind him, so he can just get back into his rhythm, save a little bit of tyre, try and cool him down a little bit.
Yeah, and with it being the Xfinity car, it's going to take maybe 3 to 4 laps to get those tires back down to the proper temps. Obviously, running 160, 170 mile an hour is going to take a little bit of time to get those tire temps back down from screaming at you, but it is doable.
You can see Dave Douglas just in behind Jacob O'Reilly there, and got Jason Holdsworth, who might have just spent a couple of laps, like Dylan just said, just cooling down those tyres. So that is the Daytona 500 livery from back in February where Dave Douglas beat us all, made us look like chumps.
Well, I'm not sure if you're a racer, Aaron, or not, but that's like to get a little bit few pointers from you while we watch this as JD under pressure from the number 21 of Jason Martin. Currently able to pull a little bit of a gap on the number 21, but a little bit of a slip up by the number 6, and that 21 could be there for a good pass. Looking out of the inside, just not able to get there, closing in on 44 or 43 laps out of 140.
So I've raced all these guys a fair bit here, Dylan. So we run 2 races a week. So Tuesday nights tonight, we run our X Series, then on a Thursday night, we'll run our Truck Series. So if anyone is watching this and want to join in, jump in our Discord, sign up for all these races. They're an absolute blast. So I run the Thursday night Truck Series.
Yeah, that might be something that I could possibly get in on, as the trucks are just something that I really like racing. I haven't done a lot of the Xfinity races, but watching these guys go around the racetrack, it kind of makes the cars look easy. But as a sim racer, as like myself, the cars by no means are easy to drive. I mean, just one wrong move, you're just going to be able to overstep it.
There's the move for P2. There's that wrong move you're talking about. Jordan Jurassic just got a little bit loose off turn 4 and turn 2, I should say, because they're just coming down the front straight now, and was just able to get up the inside of him.
Able to get up to the inside and around him all in one follow swoop. And now we're going to try to see if the number 21 can kind of pull away from it, as we're on board with the number 39 of Ethan Winter, looking on board of his 39 machine.
So he's just looking forward to Jacob O'Reilly there. You can just see he's a little bit sideways that mid corner. So none of these front guys from 21st onwards have decided to make a pit stop yet.
Looking 46 laps out of 140. And kind of like you said, about the 50 to 55 lap-ish range is the 73, the 103, and the 8 all down the pit lane.
See Lewis Greathead just looking at the back of Stevie Williams there, looking for P11. Lewis is up 12 spots, so he wants to make that 13 pretty quick, while Stevie just looking a little bit loose off the edge of the corner, but that's the same for everyone right now. They are screaming for pit stops, but that strategy says they've got to stay out. They're really hoping for that caution right now, just to even up the field. Except for Ryan Jones, who is 2.4. Brad Newman just making a move on Micklemore at the moment. Up 16 spots. Ooh, little bit of touch on the corner there. Brad's not giving any inch of room, holding him up high so he doesn't get that proper turning. Slide job right up in front. Jason Holdsworth is going to follow him. Something's happened to Jason Holdsworth. He's fallen behind. I believe he's taken a pit stop, so he's a lap behind at the moment.
Yeah, you can, and right there, you can just see the difference between the two drivers. Jason Holdsworth, new tires, and then you got Brad Newman on older tires. Look how much of a distance Holdsworth was able to put in just, I would say, a lap of just being behind both those drivers. Jason Holdsworth is just gone, as we're now on board with the 093 in the 5, as they do a little bit of a battle there, as the 5 was able to prevail on the 093.
But Jason Holdsworth that last lap did a 31.6, while Ryan Jones in first did a 32.5. No, 32.2 I should say. So 0.6 of a second quicker. As we see Riley Curtis come down pit lane. So I was bang on that 50 mark. They're going to start looking at coming into pit lane.
And if there's any type of pit road that is a challenge to get onto, come to Darlington and try to get on to pit lane as you're going in these type of speeds, because everybody's going to be struggling to get into pit road this race.
You see all the cars starting to come down. So who's going to go for the undercut? There's a few cars in now. There's Micklemore, Curtis, the 16 of... I'm not too sure who the 16 is, my bad. But there's a few cars in the pit lane. So they're going to get a big run of speed coming out of the pit lane, and they're going to make that big Darlington Stripe there for Tyler Williams.
Stephen Williams into pit lane of this time by. He's finally making his stop, but with that being said, I mean, now you got to know, okay, the 34 and 38's having a really good battle. Who's going to get first to go into pit lane? Like I said earlier, pit lane is going to be one of the hardest and easiest things to mess up. It could make or break a race as they're looking side by side in turn number 1 and 2. A little bit of a door touch there, but still going to be side by side coming out of turn number 1 and 2 as a 34 able to get around the number 38. 38 down into pit lane this time by.
You can see Ant Cuthbertson there, just a little bit off the pace of Ryan Jones there, our race leader, still 3 seconds in front of Jason Martin, and then Jordan Jurasic's not too far from there. We can see Shane Bowen coming into pit lane there. You can see Jason Martin and how close the gap is to Jordan Jurassic, who's just riding that wall, trying to get that momentum off. You can see him trying to catch it. That is the look of concentration on his face right now.
Well, absolutely. And you can see the different lines that these drivers have to take. Dirty air is going to play a big factor. Looks like JD rolling the outside a little bit better if he can keep the car straight on exit. But here comes Jason Holdsworth right behind him as the 21 is going to dive down into pit lane this time, Bay.
Jason Martin going in the pit lane as Ryan Jones just laps the 20th place position there. We must have fresh tyres on because he just blew straight past him again. Oh, big slide off the corner, so you don't want to do that on your fresh tyres. They'll be looking real secondhand.
Oh.
Ryan Jones, our race leader, into the pit lane. Does Jordan Jurasic follow him? Jordan has followed him into the pit lane.
New race leader up 26 positions as of right now is going to be Ethan Winter in that Team Conti black and pink machine as he rolls around lap number 57. It's got to be a little bit of a crunch time here, Aaron, for that number 39 to come into pit lane. The longer he stays out, the quicker the field behind him is going to be able to catch him. Obviously, new tires does prevail here at Darlington with this track being a tire shredder. How long would you want to stay out on those older tires before you want to make your pit stop?
I'm assuming he's waiting for a caution, but in the end, if he can go a few laps longer, it's going to help him in that next stint. He's going to have fresher tires than everyone 10, 15, 20 laps into that stint. If we go another green flag run like we have now, you can just see him way up on the wall there. Definitely not coming into pit lane this time around.
Yeah, still going to stay out here trying to get something to work. Like you said, waiting on that caution.
So he's looking at lapping Sam Smith in a position 7 at the moment. So that's how spread out this field is. Ethan's dove it into pit lane. Late decision there. He doesn't want to deal with the traffic. That's just going to slow him down. get that fresh set of stickers, and off he's going to go. Brad Newman takes the lead.
New race leader, the number 40 of Brad Newman. He's got a little bit of a gap on Tyler Williams.
That's Jordan Jurassic coming one lap down to unlap himself, so he's not fighting for that lucky dog position anymore. If there is a caution, he'll get back onto the tail end of that lead lap. That is the difference right there. Little wall tap. So Ethan Winters just coming out of pit lane now. Sam Smith is in the pit lane.
Yeah, looking at the number 40, Brad Williams, he being the odd car out on older tires and having everybody come on around with fresher tires. The guys on fresher tires have to realize how much slower they're going to be, as you see the number 05 just before turns 3 and 4 get a little bit loose. Going into the corner, had to get on the binders just a little bit harder than what he anticipated. But Brad doing what he needs to do to maintain the race lead.
So this is the race for the effective race lead after pit stops. Ryan Jones just making a move on Dave Douglas, who picked up a bit of the undercut. Might be struggling a little bit now. And you can see the 5 of Andy Barber just throwing it under Dave Douglas there as he just gathers himself up. Oh, Ryan's just... Not Ryan, Andy Barber just rubbed the fence. He's very loose.
Yeah, you can see him there working the wheel like an absolute madman, trying to keep that car fairly straight. Oh, a little bit of a wall tap coming off the corner yet again.
So Brad on these old tyres, he's used to being up the front, but he's probably not used to this tyre difference and being at this much of a disadvantage. He is that cork in the bottle. Mickelmore dives in underneath. He doesn't want to wait around. Throw himself in the dangers of, I believe, Dane Staden, who has a big slide off the corner. He's going to lose that spot to Ethan Winter.
Have you ever been in a place where... Oh, hard in the outside wall.
Ryan Barber just slapped the wall there.
You see there, he's got heavy damage on that
Tyler Williams in from P2, so the last car out that hasn't pitted would be Brad Newman. You see him every time, loves a different strategy. I've just seen a radio call. He's going to come into pit this lap, I believe, as he's got cars on his inside. But we're looking at Jason Martin just making a move on Dave Douglas there.
Yeah, beautiful move there. Dave Douglas ended
Brad
up
Newman's
just
in the pit.
letting Jason Martin go. Doesn't want to be side by side going into the corner.
So looking on our Facebook chat, Quasi Esports said this is going to be messy. Far from it, mate. This has been the cleanest race we've probably had all year. 65 laps. These guys are racing hard. 13 cars on the lead lap. Big spread of field. And we have fan favourite Trent Lavelle. One-stop pneumo.
Looking here, new race leader Ryan Jones back to where he was before pit stops took place. And already you see it, he's kind of running away from that white dotted line, about a half a car lane up, but still able to maintain the lead over Jason Martin, who is almost 2 seconds behind the race leader. But it's still a long race. Anything can happen. These guys have been clean and green since the drop of the green flag, as Ryan Jones going into turns number 3 and 4.
He's got that lead back out to nearly 2 seconds. They're all spread out at the front. The closest battle would probably be Jordan Jurassic on to Dave Douglas. As you see, Ryan Jones just passing on the outside of... We're trying to see what car that is. I think it's the 30 of Matt
30.
Danson. Unusual to see Matt Danson have this much of a struggle.
We jump back on board with the number 6 of JD. He's got heavy pressure from behind him of, it looks like, Boyd in that number 79 machine, but out in front of him is Dave Douglas. Dave Douglas finally made his pit stop. He's looking in P number 3, but JD trying to maintain and try to get around that number 10 machine, as the 79 behind him is currently 1 lap down, not battling for position, but just creating more laps.
There's a run from JD there, just fires it down the inside on Dave Douglas there. Manages to clear him, slides up, runs along the wall. The look of concentration there.
Hands 10 and 2, doing what he needs to do, keeping the car clean. Beautiful entry and exit points on that number 6 machine, as you're looking on the gearbox cam of the number 6 machine. They're side by side coming out of turns number 3 and 4. The 79 finally able to get clear of...
Dave's just let him go. He doesn't see any point battling with the lap car. He'll be trying to save his tyres there for a late run. If there's a caution come through, that's going to close up all those gaps.
Tyler Williams now looking at the back of Aaron Gilbert, going to look down to the inside. Does he have enough pull? He does. He's going to ship it on in there. Make
Fired
the
in there.
11
jump up to the wall.
up to P number 11, up 17 spots from where that number 34 has started, and he's looking really good this second part of the run, diving down to the inside once again.
So Ryan Jones just coming to put Jason Holdsworth another lap down, who unfortunately had a packet loss. In the sim racing world, that's the same as like a mechanical failure or something like that. You've got to pull into pit lane, reload in, and then you're going to be multiple laps down.
Oh, there is nothing worse than having a packet loss in a race where you feel good, you feel great, you're excited to race, and then all of a sudden you get that little packet loss. That, oh man, there's something with that kind of just like gets under your skin at most points, but sometimes it's inevitable. Oh, I can't talk today, but it happens to the best of us. Yeah, it's Ryan Jones still in the race lead, looking at Tyler Williams once again.
And there's that Hot Wheels livery of Riley Curtis, throwing it back to a Kyle Petty livery. Having a look around the outside, Riley made the defensive move to the inside, but lost that momentum in doing so.
Yeah, look at that camera view as he gets on around him. And like I said earlier, the race, early in the run, you want to be down to the bottom, but, Tyler Williams said, hey, you know what? I'm going to show these broadcasters what's really going on. I'm going to show them how to do it on the outside. And he made that stick.
So now back in the chat, Bobby Esports said, yeah, pretty surprised for this track that there's no real messy action yet. But these guys just shows how good these guys are, the strength of the field. The guys that you would assume to get up the front, the Dansons, the Newmans, the Holdsworth, they're all struggled a little bit in this race. As you see, Ethan Winter just making a move on Dave Douglas there, just picking them off one by one. He's up 23 spots. He's got 7.5 seconds to the race lead, so he'll be chipping away.
Kind of a little bit of a slide out of that number 39 coming off of turns number 1 and 2.
There's Newman on Aaron Gilbert there, just chipping away one by one. He's a long way off that lead of the race, though. He's 27 seconds behind. That's nearly a full lap he's going to have to make back without a caution. Then Josh, again having a bit of a struggle on kind of that middle stint of these tyres, but he is now 26 laps into these tyres. They're just starting to go away a little bit, same as Stevie Williams. He's 25. Jacob O'Reilly's got slightly fresher tyres at 21 laps.
Look in there. He's got a face full of Cuthbertson. Is going through turns number 3 and 4. Everybody just kind of being easy here as the 264 gets a really good run down to the inside. Does he ship it? No, he's going to back out of it. Thought better of it as the 222, nowhere to go. He's going to go all the way up to the outside, and here comes the 30 down to the inside. He's going to make a spicy move, able to complete that. The 264 loose all the way down the backstretch.
While this race is very spread out, there are battle groups everywhere on this racetrack. As you can see, Matt Danson just fires it up the inside of everyone. He wants to try and make a lap back or two. He currently is 4 laps down, so he's clearly had some connection issues, or might just have the wrong setup. Maybe he's just got it wrong tonight, which is an unusual mistake from Danson.
And that is my biggest fear, is loading into an open session and forgetting to take out my quali set and put in the race set. I've done it one time, and now ever since that, I've always made to double, triple, quadruple check to make sure I got the race set in, as the 79 creeping up on the back bumper.
So we have a young Ryan Barber in the medical centre. We might have a pull him in as we're just looking at his old man just in the thick of it. We'll have a little chat to Ryan, see what's happened in his race. Ryan, we see you in the medical centre. What's happened in your race, mate?
Yeah, mate, yeah, just a bit unlucky tonight. I guess I just didn't drive the way I should have. And yeah, just hit the wall a couple of times, enough for me to, ruin it.
That's a part of Darlington at the moment. It's very bumpy coming off that 1 and 2 turn. That outside wall just comes up real quick.
Yeah, I should have gone to the flower shop this afternoon and gave the lady some flowers, but it's a fine line on this track, especially going through 1 and 2. You're essentially driving on train tracks to try and get as close to that outside wall as you can without overdriving the car. And then, yeah, I just couldn't work out turns 3 and 4. It was pretty much impossible for me to actually get it right, so everyone else was saving the tyres much better than I was. And yeah, I guess I just fell back from there, and then, as the race progressed, I just struggled to get the car on the track, and yeah, just hit the wall too many times. Bent up my steering, and then tried to come into the pits to repair the damage, and decided to stick it in the pit wall by accident. So it's not my race tonight.
It's just sometimes the way it goes, doesn't it? I would ask you who you're cheering on for the rest of the race, but I believe that's going to be pretty obvious, or you might end up grounded.
Yeah, I could end up grounded, but there's a few drivers here that I actually really enjoy watching week to week. Like especially Newman, he's on a different strategy than me. I burn up my tyres, so I came in on lap 40 and lap 50, sorry, and majority of people followed me in, even though I was a lapped car, and he's stayed out until at least lap 60, and then he's come in for his tyres. So he's pushing a different strategy, and he always kind of makes it work at the end. So I am definitely going for Brad Newman, but the likes of Ethan Winter, he's a quick driver as well, so it could be anyone's game tonight. But I guess I got to be biased and go for my own dad. But if I wasn't going for Andrew, then I'd be going for Brad Newman.
Generally a safe bet going for Brad Newman there. I believe he pitted on lap 65, my telemetry's telling me. As we see Tyler Williams just trying to make a move on Jacob O'Reilly there. We've been a little bit distracted from what's going on with the race there.
Yeah, Tyler Williams trying to eye up yet another run on the 222. Gets down to the inside.
Oh, that was tight getting in there with the lap car.
No!
Oh, we've turned him. He stayed straight. We're staying green there. We're staying green.
Oh, somebody needs to cue up the Tokyo Drift theme song, because that was impressive to drift all the way around towards number 1 and 2 and not collect anybody and not bring out the caution. But now the 222 has a little bit of left rear damage. Is that going to affect how the car drives until that damage is fixed?
I know who doesn't want to see a caution. Ryan Jones, nearly 2.5 seconds out the front. As you see, Stevie Dubb just making the move on Josh Mickelmore there. Slide job up. These tyres are starting to run off. They're 30-odd laps into them now, depending on when they pitted. So Brad Newman's on about 21-lap-old tyres versus people around him on 31 to 37-lap-old tyres. For Dave Douglas. He must have been a very early stop then.
Yeah, looking at Brandon Burkhart as he's trying to pull a little bit of a gap. Oh, fellow Indiana guy. All right, Brandon, I see you out there, buddy. I know who I'm cheering for now. As going it down into turns number 1 and 2, Brandon working on the number 8 of Jason Boldsworth, who unfortunately had the packet loss earlier in the race. Not battling for position, but wants to hurry up and try to get around the number 8 machine. 8.
Oh, big hit of the wall
there?
from the 73. I believe he's the lap car of Shane Newens, 3 laps down. That would have given Brad a bit of a worry. You see the 222 just hit the wall a little bit. That's going to make it easy pickings for Brad Newman to come past. Chipping away those fresher tyres. This is why you see him go long. You always see Brad. He'll very often do something different to the cars around him. You don't win races if you're this far behind by doing the same as the cars in front of you. So a lot of cars starting to hit the wall. Big slide off the corner from JD there. He's got Ethan Winter right behind him.
So as we near around,
Ethan Winter's teammate.
Looking at it now, lap number 91 out of 140. Last time the leaders pit was on lap number 56, 59, 53, somewhere around in there. Pit stops is going to be up in Adam here shortly, as we're almost done with this whole entire race, and man, has it gone by super quick. I expected at least 1 to 2 cautions, but once I got in here and I started looking at that SOF, it made me realize that these guys in here knew how to drive.
So this field is not full of amateurs. These guys are good. They do a lot of racing. A lot of these guys are part of the Australian NASCAR Championships that you'll see on Sunday night as well. Big slide out of the corner by, I believe, Jurassic. No, about a lap car in between Jurassic there. 22nd spot of Teo Sereno.
In the 1111 Team Conti machine. Looking down to the inside of the number 6. The 6 is a little bit slower, or maybe the 111 kind of shifted in there in turns 3 and 4. As he's going to be a little bit loosey-goosey coming out of turn number 4 again.
Ryan Jones is now up to lapping a 19th spot.
I tell you what, Ryan Jones has that set working the way he needs it to go. Everybody kind of giving him enough room, whether they're going a lap down or not. They're still giving him enough room, giving him a little bit of respect while they're going. Is looking at a replay here. One of the drivers going down. Looks like he's going down into pit lane. The 103. Oh, hit the inside tire barrier. That's going to leave a mark. Well, if you wanted your favorite driver to get some memorabilia, I'm pretty sure the 103's got the memorabilia down there in his pit box, autographed, ready to go, signed, sealed, and delivered, only for a low price of $5. So go down into pit lane and get yourself a quarter panel from that 103.
So we're looking out the front of the car of Ethan Winter. We've got the lap car of Teo Sereno in front of him. Probably just a bit frustrating here for Ethan Winter. Oh, You don't want to see that in front of you. Ethan's going to get it up the inside. Side draft. Give him a little nudge saying, hey, mate, I'm here. I'm trying to race that guy in front of you. Move out of my way. So then he can have a look at Jordan Jurassic to try and get that last podium spot. This is how hard these guys fight to just have a chat with us for 2 minutes at the end of the race. Oh, big wiggle there for Jordan.
You see there he had to regroup himself after those big slides, and it kind of bottlenecked the 39, the 111, and the number 6 when the 6 got in the outside wall in turns number 3 and 4. He's going to go down to the inside as the 39 looking for a run, just not able to get it done. I'm going to eye it up one more time.
Jason Martin hit the pit road. So the first of those front runners. He'll have 42 laps to go on that set of tyres. So roughly what he's just done now. Let's see, Ethan Winter having a look on Jordan Jurassic.
Oh, loose. Look at that wheel movement. Oh, man. Jordan. Oh,
so Ethan Winter's side by side. Jordan, you can just see him sliding through the corner. A little wiggle off the corner. Both their tyres are really hurting. They're fighting for this second spot.
If anybody has ever heard the term driving by the seam of my pants, that is exactly what JD's doing right now. As Ethan Winters right behind him gets a little bit loose as they're both driving on the edge of their seats.
So you can see how much Ethan Winter just pulls in that first part of the corner, kind of loses it mid-corner, but then can get off the corner a little bit straighter. You see him throw a little bit more steering into it, so it's not handling quite the way you would like. So if you're watching on the YouTube, chuck a like in there. Big slide. Ethan Winter's going down. If he catches it, we'll stay green. We're staying green so far. He'll get up to speed. He's not going to lose too many positions. He might even elect to take a pit stop after this. As you can see, Shane Bowen's coming in. So Brad's just caught up to the back of Tyler Williams there. You see Brad just so much tighter on that wall. Doesn't slide off. Very conservative on his inputs. Depending on the fuel range of these cars, he might be looking at the one stop.
Yeah, Brad Williams.
Winter has made the call to come into the pit lane.
Brad Williams last pit on lap number 65. Looking down to the inside of Tyler Williams. Not able to stay there. Hard of the outside fence. Side by side off turns number 1 and 2. Tyler Williams thought better of it, backed out of it, gave Brad the position. As Ryan Jones into pit lane this time by. Give the race lead on over to the number 6.
Brad's one of those drivers just comes with that confidence. He's not going to wreck you, but he'll put you in a position where you've got to make a choice. Do you wreck or do you just let him go? So now he's 12.5 seconds off the lead of Jordan Jurassic. Who now, with no one fighting him, might just cruise along, try and save these tyres a little bit more. Looking to lap Riley Curtis there.
I think this is the time where JD needs to reset himself. Obviously, being in the big fight with Ethan Winters there just moments ago, this is the time where you need to reflect on what you're doing, what you could do a little bit better, what you need to improve on. And I think that's what we're going to see out of that number 6 machine as we're on board with the number 31 or 21 of Jason Martin.
So Tyler Williams just hunting in Brad Newman there. Not letting him get away. See Jordan Jurassic there just coming up to the lap car of Riley Curtis. Riley just moving to the inside. Oh, just squeezed him into the wall there. That's a little bit cheeky, not trying to go a lap down. As you see the 21 of Martin unlap himself to Jordan Jurassic there. So he's the first car not a lap down. Curtis just gone a lap down. So if there's a caution right now, this really going to spice up the field that a lot of cars would have to take that wave around.
Yeah, look at Josh Micklemore now down to the inside. Going to get around the number 6. He's going to back off just a little bit. Let him have it. He's not for position. As here comes the number 11 of Ryan Williams. He's going around. As the 093, that beautiful Hot Wheels machine, back into pit lane, almost sideswiping those barrels, able to get it on in there.
You see Ant Cuthbertson there just having a big slide off. Andy Barber up into the wall. The 20th Sam Smith just... And then Shane Bowen on fresh tyres just blows past him. Nothing they can do about that.
Diving on down. Shane able to make flip lanes. The 79 going to be able to make the run off of that corner as well. And now doing a little bit of a battle with the 264 and the 05 as the 05, well, 5 going to dive down into pit lane. And this is what I was talking about. The pit road, so hard to get into. You have to slow down and go. You have to slow down and not wreck yourself getting into pit lane.
We got Ryan Jones on the inside of, I believe, Josh Micklemore there.
They were 3 wide there for a moment, able to get it single file before the corner.
So that will be the race for the effective race lead. Then you got Ethan Jones clawing back from that little mistake that he had a little bit earlier where he went sliding down the inside. You can see Ryan Jones on the outside of Jason Martin.
As
So Ethan Winterbar past Brandon Burkhart, and so is Dave Douglas, making their way back up. These lower positions of the top 10, which will be your top 5 ones. So Ryan Jones is doing a 30.4 lap time, while Jordan Jurassic's doing a 32.3 lap time. So he's flying down the road. You can see how much the lap traffic come into the play now. Cars diving into the pit lane.
I'll tell you what, going down the backstretch, having that 20 go across the 11's nose there, if that was an inexperienced driver, that could have been disastrous. As 20 going down into pit lane, but it's going to be Ryan Jones doing what he does best, trying to maintain, but I think once JD goes into pit lane, this could be the initial race lead. Is looking at the number 6 of JD going down into turns number 3 and 4. He's going to roll the outside. And this is where this comes into play. He runs the low lane in 3 and 4 in the beginning of the run, but as the tires wear out, you're going to progressively move up the racetrack. And there we go, down in turns number 1 and 2. He's got the 111 hard on his rear end.
So Jordan Jurassic might have left the overcut too long. A lap or so. Oh, big hit there from him. Believe of the 111 of Teos Renogan. Got 17 seconds from Ryan Jones to the lead of the race. He's going to start looking at catching Brad Newman, who's going to have to do something. He's going to end up a lap down. This strategy might not have worked for him. Ryan Jones is absolutely flying. Just chipping away there at Tyler Williams and Brad Newman, and even going to have a look at maybe catching Jordan Jurassic. These guys are going to have to pit soon. They're going to have no other choice. Maybe they're hoping for a caution, just something to bring them back in to even that playing field with only 7 cars on that lead lap.
But with JD staying out this long and Ryan Jones pitting when he did, how hard do you think Ryan Jones is going to push the car? Because if JD does end up going into pit lane with a handful of laps left, if you're Ryan Jones, would you want to be pushing the car as hard as he is as of right now? I mean, he's about 7 seconds back now of the race leader. It was 13, excuse me, 13 seconds back of the race leader. How hard do you want to push it? I mean, obviously you got 25 laps to go, but is it go or stay time here with the number 11?
One car I've seen go really well on the long run is that Ryan Jones. You haven't seen him slide around like everyone else, but he's been in a position to protect those tyres and not have to fight with anyone. Tyler Williams has made the call to come into pit lane. So that's going to put him at least a lap down.
I can see it now. That gap going from 13 down to 11. He's making up 2 seconds per lap. 2 seconds per lap. We're going to have a new race leader just before about 10 laps to go if Ryan Jones can keep this pace on the number 6. But in oval racing, it's one thing to catch somebody. It's a whole nother thing to pass them. Do you expect to see the 6 of JD throw any kind of block to try and keep that number 11 around him or behind him? Or do you see the 6 just moving over saying, hey, man, look, you got the fresher tires. I'm just going to go ahead and let you go.
You're going to do what you can to defend at the end of this race.
Yeah, looking at second place. Now looking back at Ryan Jones, just half a straightaway, but look how much he is
matched the wall there of the 73. This isn't what he wants to see. Didn't know which way to go. He made the right call, though. You can see that 73 dive down the inside. He doesn't want to get in anyone's way. He's 8 3/4 seconds. He's catching up to Brad Newman. He's only about 2 seconds behind.
Yeah, look at it on board with JD. Just
so I've done a little bit of digging, and a fuel stint around here in the X Series car is about 65 laps. JD is at 63 laps now, so he's definitely going to have to come pit. And Brad Newman is at 54. So depending, you can see Jones in the background of Brad Newman there. Depending if he's been saving fuel, this could be on for young and old. If there's a caution, 7 cars on the lead lap. Cars will get the wave around, but they'll be at the tail end of the field. Or everyone's just going to have to elect to get new tyres, and it'll be only those 7 cars on the lead lap. So there's that gap. You can see Brad right up against the wall, can't get that drive off the corner, and how much gap in that second half of that corner. He's 5.3 off the lead of Jordan Jurassic, who will have to pit soon. And look at the difference in speed through that mid-corner.
Look how tight the 11 was on that wall. I mean, you couldn't even fit a piece of paper between the quarter panel and the number 11. But look at the number 11. Look at down to the inside of the number 40. You're going to make quick work. Here, Brad going to pinch him down on the apron. They're going to be side by side. Easy on him. Yeah, Ryan trying to find a clean and easy way to get on around is gap.
So Jordan has pitted now from the lead. So this is for the lead of the race. Jones on Newman.
Jones making easy work there, finally getting around the number 40 machine, and now he can kind of check out but maintain his pace. He doesn't want to run any harder than what he is right now. Tires definitely going to be coming in as we have 17 16 laps to go here at Darlington.
So that's the difference between 20 lap old tyres and 57 lap old tyres.
Yeah, looking here at the number 11.
So Jordan Jurassic come out from, well, pitted him first, come out 11. So that's the difference of that overcut. Those cars were making 2 seconds a lap, lap after lap, and he just fallen that far behind. Nearly a lap he's lost.
Yeah, look at the number 6, looking at the inside. Almost gets into the back of the number 5. But Jordan makes quick work of the number 5. Now he's got to catch the number 39 in front of him. He's going to do it within this corner. He's got to get up towards Ryan Jones, who is exiting turn number 2 right now, as we ride on board with the number 98 machine of Stephen Williams.
So 30 flats for Jurassic now, where everyone else around him is up in 10th place. Everyone's doing 31s. Tyler Williams is still in that. So Newman's just lost second place to Jason Martin there. There's 14 laps to go. So Brad is on 61 lap old tyres. He's just hanging on for dear life. He wants the caution to come out so he can get that fresh set of tyres.
If I would have taken a bet on how long these drivers would try to stay out on these old tires, I don't think it would. I would have said 61 laps. I mean, being out there that long for Brad Newman, I would think doing a little bit of some tire conservation. As JD looking down to the bottom of the number 31 of Micklemore, going to be able to make that pass as Micklemore up into the outside wall. New 8th spot is going to be the number 6 of JD.
But JD's still a lap down. He's just picking his way up. So he's about to pass Newman there. There's no contest between 5 lap old tyres and 63 lap old tyres. So he's just coming up to, I think that Brandon Burkhart in between them, and then he'll be chasing down Ryan Jones to try and get that lap back. If there's a late race caution, getting that lap back will be crucial. He'll be in the lucky dog position at the moment.
Yeah, Ryan Jones in clean air, no dirty air inside for the number 11. As
Ryan's only done 27 laps on these tyres. He's just cruising to the end. He's 4.1 seconds in front of Jason Martin. Pulled 6 seconds on Brad Newman already. He's just got to cruise home. He's screaming for this to go green till the end.
Well, absolutely. Any leader would want these laps to pick down super quick. He's just waiting to see that white flag. Then he knows it is absolutely official. 9 laps to go. Brad Newman in pit lane this time.
So we got 66 laps out of that tank of fuel. So he'll be coming in for fuel. He's going to end up going a lap down. That strategy's just backfired on him a little bit. You see Ethan Winter having a look up the inside of Josh Micklemore there. Going to be followed by the 52 of Henry King, who will be a lap down. Oh, you see Micklemore just hit the wall on the entry there. There's 8 laps to go. Has anyone got an answer for Ryan Jones?
A lot of people out here hitting that outside wall. They're definitely going to be taking home that coveted Darlington Stripe. Lady in Black, track too tough to tame, but not for that number 11 is Tyler Williams right in front of the number 6 machine. He's going to go low. He's going to block the number 6. This is a battle for position on the racetrack. Jordan,
that is correct.
down
They're
to the
fighting
inside.
for 7th and 6th position there in front of the race lead. So Jordan Jurassic has unlapped himself, which will be vital as the late race caution.
Yeah, that's what one thing that the race leader does not want to see is that yellow flag come out as JD able to pull away, but looking on board with the number 11 machine. Clean and clear, no traffic around him. He's out there doing a little bit of a Sunday drive as he is coming to 5 laps to go at Darlington.
So Jones is just going to be coasting now. He doesn't want to push too hard. He's got 4.1 seconds. He's just keeping that gap pretty consistent.
Looking on board with the number 40.
So only 7 cars on the lead lap at the moment. Few gambles on the pit stops haven't played out for people. A couple of cars going long. You see the difference of lap times with Jordan Jurassic. He's just blowing through the field, but he's just too far behind. 28 seconds. That's nearly a lap behind. So you can see the lap times there. He's running the 30.76 versus the 31 and 72. So a good second faster. You see him make the move on Shane Bowen there. He's ticking up the spots, up into 5 spots. So that's the difference he's got to make. He's half a straight in front of him, so he's got to pull up about 80% of the track. It's just not going to happen for him. If he's lucky, he might get on the back of Dave Douglas.
Yeah, Ryan, no cars in sight. Coming to 2 laps to go here for the race leader. Ryan Martin just crossed the line. Popsicle sticks in the air for the race leader, as he's got no traffic to worry about. He has no lap cars in front of him, nobody behind him. All he's got is the wall on his outside to keep out of, and a windshield to keep an eye out of. As coming around turns number 3 and 4, Ryan Martin. Good to see the white flag this time by.
There's
Ryan
the white
Jones,
flag for Ryan Jones there. He's just got to keep it clean. There's no more cautions. The next flag ends the race, and that's going to be that checkered flag. He's just cruising, just hanging on that outside wall. He's really been unopposed. You can see him do a little drift there. You don't want to get too cocky doing that too early. Slap the wall and end up spinning, and then Jason Martin's just going to come take the lead. But this is all Ryan Jones. He has dominated this race. Marnie puts the white flag away, brings out the checkered flag for Ryan Jones, just drifting across the finish line there. And then we're going to have Jason Martin come in second and Ethan Winter round out our podium. So you see Ryan Jones just doing his little celebration lap. He will come around onto the start-finish line and burn it down.
Beautiful job, well done to the number 11 machine of Ryan Jones, using the pit strategy to his favor. Comes on around, burning it down for the people.
Big tip in for the... He's been watching some Summer Nats replays there. That's a big tip in for the burnout pad. All right, let's pull up our race results. So Ryan Jones for Simrigs DPR, our winner. Jason Martin in second, Ethan Winter rounding out the podium. Then we got Dave Douglas, Jordan Jurassic, who just left that run a little bit too late, Tyler Williams, Shane Bowen, Stevie Williams, Josh Mickelmore, Aaron Gilbert rounding out your top 10.
11th, we're going to have Brad Newman. 12th is going to be Riley Curtis. 13th is going to be Brandon Burkhart. 14th, Daniel Boyd. 15th is going to be Jacob O'Reilly. 16th is going to be Sam Smith. 17th is going to be Ant Cuthbertson. 18th is going to be Andy Barber. 19th will be Henry King. And rounding out your top 20 is going to be Jason Holdsworth.
Then you can see Lewis Greathead in 21st, Brian Blundell, Matt Danson, Teo Serrano, Dane Snadden, Shane Newens, Robert Dunt, Ryan Barber, down 75 laps. So there've been a lot of hard luck stories in this race.
They're running out your last two, Trent and Nigel in 29th and 30th. But, man, oh man, what a race.
So before we do our interviews, we see one Matt Danson in the medical centre. So we might just quickly bring him in and just see what happened to his race. Matt Danson, we find you in the medical centre. What happened in your race there?
Hey fellas, I thought as the moral victor, it'd be nice to have a chat. It was not a great night for me. Unfortunately, I had technical difficulties. Yeah, the boys rolled the car out. We're feeling confident, but we weren't super prepared, unfortunately. So, some mechanical gremlins crept in, and we had no steering whatsoever, and took a little bit of time to remedy that. And by the time we did, we came out sort of 9 laps down or whatever it was. So it was a bit of a slog, but you never give up. You always get out there and have a bit of a crack, and it was good fun. But I worked up a sweat nonetheless. But it looked like Ryan, from my set at least, he was pretty unstoppable.
Which is unfortunate, but points are valuable in this. We might have to let you go so we can get into the green room and get our interviews rolling. Thanks for the quick chat there.
Thanks, fellas. Take care.
So let's bring in our third place getter of Ethan Winter. Ethan, congratulations on your third place. How'd that race go for you?
Not ideal in qualifying now. Kind of, known for what I do in qualifying. I just wasn't any good in that session. So I knew that really would put me behind, particularly at Darlington, where there's not too many cautions because of the way iRacing works and how they're thrown. So, really put me far back, at the start there. I knew I'd be quick. I just, I had a good first two stints. Third stint, just kind of blew the tyres a little bit there and half spun also at the end of the second stint, which cost me a bit of time. Might have grabbed second there potentially. But I don't think I had anything for Ryan from all the way back there. So congrats to Ryan on the win. Jason on second. That was, a great race. I love racing, that kind of race where it's a really long runs, no cautions, everyone's respectful. And, just good to see how far, the whole group of drivers come this early in the season.
That sounds good. You had, a good run of form, up 24 positions. So, that starting position really hurt you for a little while.
I just had to be kind of patient. There's a few times early on at the start I almost got involved in some incidents, kind of scuffed up the wall, Darlington Stripe, as we know. But, just managed to pick my way through one by one and, kind of played the pit game, I think, pretty well. Just, again, that mistake getting into Jordan out of 4 kind of, killed that race for me. But, just looking forward to Talladega, I think it is next week.
I believe Bristol next week.
Bristol. Yeah. So that'll be interesting. Short track, not very wide. So, just look forward to it.
Sounds good. Any friends, family, sponsors you want to throw a shout out to?
Yeah, just big thanks to Nick Oettinger at Team Connie for supplying these sets. The car was rapid tonight. I got a bit of work to do myself in quali. I know it would have been quick, just couldn't put it together. So thanks to him, thanks to BBS Esports, Australian Speedway Results, District 23 Suspension Engineering, and Lockie for jumping in late and just helping me with some adjustments in the late run there and just spotting at the end.
No worries. Well, congratulations on your third place. So
Thank
we
you.
shall see you in the race next week.
You will.
And I shall bring in Jason Martin, and Dylan can conduct this interview.
Hey, Jason, is Dylan and Aaron in the broadcast booth? You got a copy?
I can see his name lighting up there, but we might have a few issues with Jason's comms there.
Hello?
Yep, we've got you
there
now.
we go.
Okay, sorry about that. I must have had it on mute.
All right, well, Jason, first off, congratulations on the P2 here tonight. Obviously, doing what you had to do to keep the track position, try to keep the car off the wall, but it is inevitable here. How are you feeling after tonight's race? How are the arms feeling? And are you sweating after all that?
Oh, sure am. I'm in Perth and it's seriously hot here and forgot to put the aircon on before the race, so yeah, I'm extremely hot and sweaty. And you throw in the nerves of trying not to hit the fence, yeah, it's hard work.
Yeah, definitely.
I hit it real early in the race.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of the drivers sliding up into the outside wall here and there, but I mean it is inevitable here. Obviously, you were kind of banking on a caution there to come out, but 140 laps, total green flag runs. What's in stake for you going on to next week of what you could have done better here tonight to improve yourself on?
Could have not hit the wall when I was letting Danson by early in the race. And yeah, that made the car real tight then, and then I was loose off because of it. So yeah, just don't hit that wall and it makes life a lot easier.
Absolutely. Definitely want to see what you can bring to the table here next week. Obviously, the toe's going to be back to where it needs to be. But before we let you get on out of here, Mr. Jason, if there's anybody on that number 21 machine you'd like to give a shout out to, the floor is yours.
I just got to thank iRacing for giving me a half-decent setup to start with for once. It wasn't too bad and seemed to go okay tonight, so yeah. And thanks to you guys for the broadcast, and well done to Ryan Jones on the win.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations once again, and we'll be seeing you again next week.
Cheers, mate.
All right, let's bring in our race winner, Ryan Jones. Ryan, congratulations on the race win.
Yeah, cheers, mate. That was good. Can't believe one green.
Well, you're the one driver that didn't want to see it go to a caution, but everyone behind you would have been screaming. You were just running away from that one.
Yeah, and knowing my usual luck, it normally comes too. So I was waiting for it, but yeah, great. I mean, just great job from everyone tonight, really, to stay green, because it's not an easy track to drive at all.
No, we saw a lot of cars getting loose off 1 and 2, and then into 3 and 4 kind of thing. A lot of Darlington Stripes on the cars. So one thing, we didn't really see your car get loose. It was probably more tight than anything.
Yeah, it was real tight middle of 3 and 4, and then a little loose off. But I think for once, the setup I plugged in was exactly what I wanted, and yeah, took off a bit of a rocket. Just had to make sure you don't sort of get to that throttle too early, because that's what a lot of people do, and you burn off that right rear so quickly. And especially at a track like this, where you're trying to build the momentum off the corners and you're trying to rush onto that throttle, you'll just kill yourself.
That's correct. It's a very hard track on the right rear there. So, did anyone make it overly difficult to get by? You saw yourself come through a little bit of traffic through those pit stop obstacles, whereas everyone kind, or someone give you a cheeky bump or anything like that?
Oh well, Danson moved me from 7 laps down to lap 15 or something. That was fun.
We did catch that on the broadcast.
Josh, no, Josh was alright. I think he helping out his mate Jason there for a little bit, but he raced me cleanly. We've always raced each other cleanly, and there's no blue flags in oval racing, so drivers are inclined to not get out of the way. But for the most part, everyone rolled off the throttle, and if they did race, it was only for a lap, and then they sort of, okay, you're going to come by me eventually. There were a couple close calls with drivers just sort of not really paying attention though. Someone in the fence in front of me, and someone peeling into the pits hard on the anchors right in front of me into 3 was terrifying for a moment.
It's always hard just predicting what everyone else is going to do there for a sec, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's half of over racing, right? It's coming through the lap traffic. I actually really enjoy it coming through the lapped cars, and love it when we get these long races. It's something I really love about Martinsville, which is a shame because we can't ever do it at Martinsville. That's why I didn't show up last week.
Well, you didn't miss a whole lot. Well, only 7 cars finished on the lead lap tonight, so that goes to show the spread of the field and how fast you were to get past everyone there.
Yeah, I mean, again, 140 laps, you're going to have that field spread. I sort of noticed early on that there was a bit of a trend towards burning the tyres off most of the field. I was feeling pretty comfy from pretty early, but just having that clean air on the front for as long as you can, it makes a big difference, and you don't sort of get held up or have little bobbles in the fence. You can sort of run your own pace and dictate from there. I was trying to feel safe for a while, decided that wasn't going to work.
No one was really fuel saving. I think Newman got the furthest on about 67 laps, I believe. And then, your strategy came into play perfectly. You came in with the pack. You were able to drive away with a little bit fresher tyres. So great job on that.
Yeah, that was the first run I had. Well, both runs, I was pretty comfortable, so I was able to just sort of react to the cars behind. And Darlington's such a track position place as well. I was just mindful of that. So once Jason peeled off from 2 seconds back in the first stint, I sort of came in the next lap to cover him off. And I think he had a problem though, because he didn't gain any time. And then the second stint, it was 7 seconds back to everyone else. So I just went for the overcut and Jason by 5 laps, and able to come through and skirt around his outside.
Well, yeah, great job. Congratulations on your first place win. If you got any friends, family, sponsors you want to shout out to, the floor is yours, my friend.
Big shout out Steve jumping in, having a good race. Always good to chat with mid race and go back and forth on what we're going to do. We didn't make any sub changes tonight, but I'm sure he would have helped me out if I needed any. And he listens to my whinging when it's not going well, which is quite often. Simrex.com, Benamax Mechanical, all the boys at DPR as well for getting around us. Mum, my number 1 supporter, my only supporter, watching on as always. Loves a good YouTube live stream, she does. And all you boys put on the broadcast, all the boys in the league, put on a great clean race and going green the whole way, because, as I said, not easy.
No worries. Thank you for the interview.
Cheers, boys.
So that's our wrap up from Darlington. So Ryan Jones taking the lead by 4.4 seconds there. Was really never challenged, and I'd like to say a big thank you to Dylan for jumping in last minute, and Dean for doing our broadcast and doing the cameras and making us look a lot better than maybe we really are.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to come by and help commentate a very, very quick Darlington race here tonight.
So we're just going to have a look at the upcoming schedule. So next week, we got a Bristol, baby. So short track racing, tempers are going to fly. I can't see that one going green. We're going to have a great time. So we're going to bid you good night, and we'll see you next week.